joining us. Is there any truth to this report?
As of now, it's actually speculative. But, it is not out of the ordinary for Warburg Pincus to think of a 10% stake sale, because they came in the company when it was really at a founding up stage and it was a seed idea, and they came in at 162 rupees a share. It's been 5 years, so it wouldn't be out of the ordinary.
Okay. Well, it's extremely unlikely they wouldn't have told you about it.
Yeah, I mean, in the sense that it is, from their point of view, I just imagine that, it is the nature of business to invest, I guess.
Good morning. But 10%, right? Because there was earlier news report that maybe, they would have looked to sell more as well and then even give up control, because they've made a huge money in this, and at the end of the day, they are a PE investor.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, from their point of view, they came in early. So I guess anybody who comes early in a business at early stage, I guess, makes a lot more value to be created.
So could 10% be precursor to a bigger deal at later stage?
No. First of all, there is no such deal of 10% in the place. I think there is a speculation on this matter going on for a long time in the marketplace, and Lata has been tracking the story for a while. But I think there's no real deal on the table. But I think a lot of investment bankers are pretty much interested in the storyline, and I think it's getting covered from that point of view.
But there is talk that perhaps, just to take Anuj's point forward, there's talk that perhaps the entire company is on the block. So that is completely out of the...
I don't think there's any story at all.
Okay.
No, would Warburg still be interested in keeping more than 51% is what we are driving at?
No, I understand what you're asking, but I'm saying that is a question only Warburg Pincus can answer.
Okay.
But having said that, I would say that there is no such story, plans, discussion whatsoever for any dilution of any substantial stake, let me say beyond 50%. I mean, keeping 50% of the company. But even to the extent of the 10%, like I said, it is speculative. But like I said, it won't be out of the ordinary if such a discussion happened.
Okay. Well, since we have you with us, if you can tell us how fourth quarter looked like, did you see a remarkable improvement from your third quarter levels?
Actually, the business has bounced back pretty sharply. Like I mentioned last time, the business actually had come down by 30% during the third quarter during demonetization. Things are entirely back to normal. In fact, business have gone past the quarter two levels, and both in disbursements. I think in terms of collections as well, where people are quite concerned about NPA and all that, really there is no issue. The results will be out very soon. But a public information to, let me say, our shareholders or viewers, there's absolutely no issue at all.
Okay. Did you see, can we therefore expect that the limited gross NPLs that you saw will actually roll back?
No, our NPA is close to about 1%, a little short of 1%, actually 0.94%.
Yes.
We think that should pretty much be stable. In June, as and when we were to migrate to the 90 days past due, at that time, we currently reported 120 days past due. When we migrate there, maybe our expected numbers could be close to about 1.5% gross and maybe about 70-80 basis points net. That story pretty much holds. There is no change because of demonetization.
Okay. Vaidyanathan, you yourself, of course, have been a banker. You said investment bankers are pitching ideas. So if and when this deal does take place, do you think it will be to one entity or a clutch of investors?
See, first of all, let me just clarify that it will be a good thing from the company's point of view, because there is a lot of overhang on this issue from time to time, people wondering when will Warburg Pincus exit the stake in the company. So it's a good thing for matters to get cleared up. Number two, as far as the kind of investors who will want to be interested, from our point of view, definitely long funds who are interested in the long-term growth stories of companies, a company growing at, say, 20-25% per year compounded, having good return on equity, being in a niche area. These sorts of things, there are companies which really like and who are stable investors. So we'll pretty much be happy if such investors come on board.
Okay. You yourself have about 10.8% stake in the personal capacity. Any changes to that?
Recently, about maybe a month ago, I sold close to about 1.5% in the company. Okay. That was to actually square a debt which I had actually used to first acquire the stock in the first place.
Okay.
So, but that's a one-off transaction. There is no plan.
So now it is 9% that you hold?
It's about a little short of 11% after the stake sale.
After the sale.
And but the idea is that there is no more stock from my side to the market. I'm very happy to clarify that.
Okay. Your AUMs grew by about 25% when you last reported numbers. Has the rebound been powerful enough to change that number?
Pardon me?
Your AUMs, when you last reported, December 31, it's a growth of 25.4%.
Yeah.
So is the fourth quarter so seminal in terms of the rebound after third quarter that this 25 gets 30? Does it become seminally
different? Actually, yes. We believe that the compounded the growth for the financial year should be a little north of 25%. And for us, the next year looks even better. So
that was my next question, actually.
Yeah, next year looks distinctly better even than this year, both in terms of profits as well as a top line. Last year, our profits grew from about 115 crore to 166 crore on a net profit basis. This year, as per analyst public reports, the expectation for Capital First is somewhere about 230 crores or so for this financial year. And I think because of significant operating leverage coming our way, because of expanding scale of book, we think that the profit should probably compound a little faster than the top line as well.
Okay, in FY18.
In FY18.
So would you use that free cash to acquire something?
There are no plans to acquire anything at this stage.
Only organic growth?
Only organic growth.
Okay, you spoke about, I think, 25% growth, right, for the company and for the industry. Is that for this year, or do you see it for next year as well?
No, I didn't say it for the industry. As you know, for the industry, things have been a little tepid. At least the manufacturing sector, investment-driven growth has been rather tepid. But I really meant for Capital First at 25%.
Okay. That's for next year as well?
That's for next year. Probably next year could be a little higher than that, actually.
Will margins improve this year or not improve because everybody is undercutting?
No, margins actually improve this year. The reason is that the cost of funds is coming down quite sharply. And the borrowing cost actually is from the non-convertible debentures are much cheaper than banks. And close to 50% of our borrowing has now moved over to the NCD market. Almost incrementally, close to 100% of our borrowing is from NCDs.
So just one final question, if anyone has any other questions. Okay, I'll just try and wrap it up quickly. In terms of a timeline, any timeline that you know of as to when Warburg Pincus could exit?
See, let me just say that the fund itself has a life of close to about 4 years more. They invested 5 years ago. So that's a long time ahead as far as fund is concerned. Warburg Pincus are actually very happy with the company, the way the company has been growing, the way the profits are coming, and so on. So I don't think that they're in a hurry to sell. Okay. But like I said, in terms of if they were to put out a 10% block in the marketplace, for example, if that's a story, like I said, it is to be expected. After all, there's an investor who's invested for a long period of time. We're actually very happy that we could create good wealth for new investors.
Okay, and for yourself as well, Vaidyanathan, you know, the bet is paid out for you. Thanks a lot for